Val d'Isere is a family roller coaster at Parc Astérix, but if you aren't careful, this can prevent you from ever having a family. This ride can be downright painful in your groin. Fortunately, I have found a way to ride this comfortably. But is it even worth it? Find out in this review. This ride opened back in 1994. Built by Zir, this was just one of 2 Hornet models ever erected. The other was located at Flambards Village theme park, and that park just closed permanently. Val d'Isere translates to Flight of Icarus, and this attraction's backstory is pretty dark, especially for a family coaster. It is based around a Greek myth. Daedalus created the Labyrinth of Crete to imprison a Minotaur, but afterwards, the king imprisoned both Daedalus and his nephew Icarus in that very labyrinth. This is why the ride's queue is this windy maze through some ruins, and then the station behind it represents the palace. To escape, Daedalus crafted wings made of wood and wax. This is why the trains have molded wings on the side. They look great. But both him and Icarus would need to fly at a perfect height. Fly too low to the sea, and the wings would get wet. Fly too high, and the wings would melt. Icarus was so enamored with the sensation of flight that he flew too high, destroying the wings. This is why there's a giant sun placed atop the lift. The rest of the coaster simulates Icarus falling to his demise. I have seen this coaster with a listed capacity of almost 1,000 riders per hour, but I think that's nearly impossible to achieve. The trains are comprised of 2 cars. They can seat a max of 8 guests. Each car has 2 sections of seats where guests sit in line, similar to a log flume. While 2 adults can share the same seat, it is a cozy squeeze, so many choose to ride separately. The crew does their part though. If you're unfamiliar with Parc Astérix, they have some of the most efficient ride crews on the planet. They routinely dispatch a train every 30 seconds, and with 4 trains on the course at any given time, the theoretical capacity is achievable if guests fill the train fully. So the queue can move faster than you'd expect. Most days, this hovers around the 20 to 30 minute mark midday. 2 touring notes and tips. 1. You can usually walk onto this if you head there immediately at park open. Most guests run to the park's largest coasters initially. This is particularly notable if you purchase the full automatic Skip the Line pass. Val d'Isere is the most notable ride not offered on the service. 2. The queue is usually minimal in the last 1 to 2 hours of the day, so that's another alternative if you choose to start with one of the park's headliners. Whenever I've ridden this coaster, it has always been a walk-on, so I have always been able to choose my preferred seat. I suspect seating may be first come or assigned during busier periods. From a force perspective, it does not matter where you sit on this one. Only factor is whether you want that unobstructed view up front. What absolutely matters though is how you sit. The trains have you sitting low with your legs outstretched. The harness then slides towards you. It is shared for each seat, so if you ride together, both riders must sit in contact, similar to a mock bobsled. The component across your chest is fine. The issue is the metal bar positioned in between your legs. If you don't want to brace yourself, your crotch will slam into this. I made that mistake in my initial visit. This ride left me breathless, but not in a good way. 3 options. 1. Wear a cup. I'm guessing most guests are not wearing one of these at a park, so this option is probably out. 2. Ride in pairs and trick someone to sitting in front of you. They will be your human shield, but you may feel bad afterwards when they get hurt. 3. And more sensibly, extend your legs against the angled plates on the side, then push your body backwards. Hold that position for the duration of the coaster. This will prevent you from sliding forwards, avoiding contact with the restraint. This worked like a charm on my recent visit. If you are riding with a small kid in front of you, use my method to brace yourself, and then hold the kid against your body to protect them. Once dispatched, you turn out of the station and ascend a covered lift hill. The tarps look sort of ugly and temporary. I don't think they're there for theming. Rather, I think they are there to protect the booster tires from water. This allows the ride to continue to operate in rain. These bring you to your max height of 35 feet, or 11 meters. It's not a particularly tall ride. Once at the top, you pass the aforementioned sun, and then you begin the high-speed section. Although, I use that term lightly because this coaster only reaches a max speed of 26 miles per hour or 42 kilometers per hour. The first drop is a gradual S-bend, no force, but it builds momentum. Then you spiral upwards into a mid-course brake run. Again, no notable laterals or G-forces. In fact, that's a general issue with this ride. This brake run will not slow you down, but don't get used to that. You then gently twist downwards, you then twist in the opposite direction, you curve past the lift hill, and head towards another mid-course brake run, which coolly is placed atop the station past some pillars. This is a nice visual. These brakes also allow you to pass through uninhibited. This leads to a gradual turnaround above the midway, and then it's time for pain. The next mid-course brake run very abruptly slams the train to a full stop. If you don't know this is coming, your body will be thrusted forwards into that metal bar, and your crotch will take the full impact. You will hear many guests scream in agony. My technique prevented this issue in 2024, but most people unfortunately do not know to ride like this. You then meekly roll forwards and navigate another slow turn. This leads to another brake run that once again will suddenly slam the train to a stop. This is attack number 2 in your crotch, so don't let your guard down. You then dip downwards immediately into another brake run that once again abruptly stops you. It is sort of comical watching everyone get flung forwards off-ride until you remember those people may be in genuine discomfort. You then return to the station and park, ending the 1,345-foot or 410-meter-long coaster. This ride does not have much track, and it's a relatively short ride, especially because a large chunk of it is spent on those final few brake runs. Is this ride smooth? The brakes are simply abominations. No coaster, let alone one for families, should brake in a manner that can hurt its guests. But beyond that major issue, the coaster is fine. It definitely has some janky transitions on the turns, which I'm guessing is due to the longer cars than your typical Zero coaster. But these thankfully do not hurt because you take the turns with so little speed. It also may help that this coaster received an extensive retrack before the 2017 season. We have seen a few Zero coasters get retracked over the years, including the park's very own SOS Tornavis Jr. coaster. I am guessing the thin track does not have as long of a service life as the thicker, more robust track pieces other manufacturers use. So what would I rate Volticare? I would give this coaster a 2 out of 10. Simply put, this is not a good coaster. At best, the coaster is boring, and that is if you ride defensively and brace yourself start to finish like I do. At worst, this coaster is genuinely painful. That is a disturbing prospect for what is meant to be a family coaster. The sudden brakes, combined with that restraint system, is a disaster. I do like how this coaster's queue line station look, but beyond that, this is a coaster that I honestly would recommend skipping. I doubt this will happen, but I wish the park could adjust the brakes to be gentler and/or modify the restraints to remove that metal bar in between your legs. It hurts slamming into anything on a coaster, but it's extra painful when that thing being slammed is your groin. Or if you don't want to do that, at least educate guests how to ride this comfortably. But that could eat into the efficiency, which is something this park prioritizes almost to a fault. If these issues were fixed, this still would not be a great ride, but it would at least be comfortable and allow it to be a fine family coaster for those with gentler tastes. So those are my thoughts on Volticare Parc Astérix. Do you enjoy this coaster? Or do you find it a ball buster? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.